This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Good evening from Addis. Welcome to tonight's News Hour. I'm your host, Adam Masai, for this hour's news. Let's start from Algeria. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Senator Mohammed Ishaq Dar received a telephone call from Algerian Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf on Wednesday. The two sides expressed satisfaction at the positive trajectory of bilateral cooperation, the Foreign Office spokesperson said in a press release. During the conversation, both leaders reaffirmed commitment to further strengthening Pakistan-Algeria relations and enhance coordination in multilateral fora, including the United Nations. A South African court ruled on Thursday that ANC leader and Nobel Prize winner Albert Luthuli was murdered by apartheid police in 1967, overturning the official claim he was hit by a train. Judge Nomphumelo Lelo Hadebe found Luthuli died from a fractured skull and brain injuries due to assault by security branch police acting with railway employees. She named 7 men complicit in the murder. The ANC called it a historic judgment, correcting a distortion of history and a victory for apartheid's martyrs. The government of Djibouti and Saudi Development Fund are discussing the financing of a new airport as efforts to make the Horn of Africa country a leading aviation and logistics hub gathers momentum. The latest discussions held in Djibouti City on Tuesday were led by Djibouti Secretary General of the Ministry of Budget, Simon Mibrathu, who also coordinates the Al-Hajj Hassan Gulaid Tidion Bidili International Airport Project, and Sultan bin Abdulrahman Al Murshid, Director General of the Saudi Development Fund. A statement from the Djiboutian Embassy said the discussion focused on FSD's participation in the construction of the airport, a strategic component of Djibouti's Vision 2035. The statement added that the project aims to strengthen Djibouti's international connectivity and support its ambition to become a regional aviation and logistics center. The proposed airport, once completed, is expected to enhance regional connectivity and contribute significantly to Djibouti's economic development.
There is a tendency in the underdeveloped countries to think that there is a shortcut to development, that countries can be developed for us by someone else. I'm saying this is not possible, it has never happened. So what we are trying to say is the basis of development is our own effort.
Ghana-France bilateral talks at the Elysee Palace. President John Dramani Mahama and French President Emmanuel Macron held extensive talks at the Elysee Palace on Thursday, alongside the 2025 Paris Peace Forum. The leaders focused on security, with Mahama seeking French support to combat piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. They discussed a pending French concessionary loan for Ghana's health sector and urged IMF facilitation for access to French Development Bank facilities, citing Ghana's improved debt to GDP ratio. As AU champion for African financial institutions, Mahama pushed for renegotiated lower interest loans for infrastructure. He highlighted Ghana's role in hosting the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat and its 1 million cadres program requesting French aid to train French language teachers. Macron proposed collaboration at the 2026 Viva Tech Summit in Nairobi, AU Summit in Angola and G7 Summit, where France will advocate for Ghana. Mahama raised slavery reparations. Macron pledged support while noting shared historical responsibility. Both addressed Sahel security threats, with Macron praising Ghana's reforms and pledging continued development support. African youth called upon governments to enhance youth inclusion and foster collaboration between nations in order to maintain peace across the continent and secure sustainable development. In an inclusive interview with Pulse of Africa, young youth from South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya emphasized the importance of sharing best practice across the continent. Sabelos Kenjana from South Africa believes that young people need to be curious and take an active interest in significant matters affecting the continent, and that African leaders need to engage with young people as well. In the spirit of Ubuntu, Skinjana underlined that all of Africa's youth must unite and participate in decision-making processes, as well as in organizations and platforms that are important to Africa's cause.
I should be aware about peace and security issues in a continent that I belong to. And I think the important work that is done by the Tana Forum must resonate across Africa and must be well exposed. In the name and in the spirit of Ubuntu, the people in Ethiopia and the people in South Africa are one people. And the only way we can get to understand that is by coming to forums of this nature and, being at head-locks with our ideas, sharing solutions and sharing best practice.
Emmanuel Kilu from Kenya said that young people play a significant role in peace and security matters, as they are vibrant and their involvement in national and continental platforms bears fruits where they are given supports.
The young people play a very key role. They can be peace builders in their communities, from the grassroots level to the national level, to the continental level, and even to the global stage. Young people can articulate themselves, they can present themselves as writers, researchers, as leaders, and they can ensure the voice of what is happening in their locality. And also young people can promote peace and coexisting with other people from various faiths, traditions, cultures, and society in their community. And that creates a society where everyone thrives when there is peace.
Peter Inalegu Awodi from Nigeria said that communication between the younger and older generations in Africa must be encouraged. He added that in order to bring sustainable peace and development to Africa, the youth who are equipped with technology and innovation must be involved in the decision-making process.
There should be a synergy, there should be a relationship, there should be a medium of communication between the younger generations of Africa and the older generations of Africa. Now, it's important because the future, as it stands, whether we like it or not, belongs to the youth. So when they don't interact with the older generation, a lot of things got missed along the way, right? So the youths will bring their ideas, their innovation, their smartness, their boldness to meet with the experience of the older generation to bring about a more vibrant, a more development-inclined Africa.
Now to business headlines. Australian oil and gas explorer Invictus Energy has shifted its corporate headquarters to Harare, Zimbabwe, following a landmark $500 million funding commitment from Qatari investment group Al Mansour Holdings. The move strengthens operational focus on its flagship Bora Bassa project in Muzarabani district, Mashonaland Central. Since the deal, Invictus's market capitalization on the Australian Stock Exchange has surged from $55.2 million to $168.9 million. Managing Director Scott McMillan said the Harare office will support growth and accommodate expatriate staff during field activities. Over the next 24 months, the firm plans well testing, appraisal drilling at Mukuyu, and a gas-to-power pilot with Dalaglio Investments and Himonisa, Southern Africa, to supply gas to Eureka Gold Mine. The Cabora Bassa Basin holds an estimated 1.38 billion barrels of oil and condensate valued at approximately $19 billion. Mozambique's President Daniel Chapo said his government is considering a proposal by France's Total Energies to alter the contract period and approve increased costs for its liquefied natural gas project, Bloomberg reports. The French energy major is seeking a 10-year extension to the project, which has been delayed since 2021 due to security issues but is close to restarting, as well as $4.5 billion increase in costs, according to Bloomberg. Mozambique may present counter-agreements and then we can reach a consensus on whether the proposed extension will proceed or not, Chapo said in translated comments, Bloomberg reports. Finally, Angola's National Oil and Gas Agency, ANPG, will sign an exclusive negotiation agreement with oil major Shell to explore and develop blocks 19, 34, 35, as well as ultra-deep water blocks, is said in a statement late on Thursday. The signing ceremony will take place on November. This event marks a historic moment for the Angolan oil sector, consolidating Shell's presence in Angola, Angola's National Oil, Gas and Biofuels Agency said. Angola is sub-Saharan Africa's second-largest crude oil producer after Nigeria. It has undertaken major regulatory reforms to attract new investment into its energy sector, aimed at keeping production above 1 million barrels per day. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye until next hour's news program.